The BMW community is famously superficial. Enthusiasts spend thousands of dollars trying to recreate the raw, analog driving experience of the 1980s. They bid the legendary E30 chassis into the stratosphere, convinced that classic driving dynamics require a massive financial sacrifice. This obsession with pedigree has created a monumental blind spot. Right now, there is a specific BMW from the 1990s sitting in the classifieds for the price of a used laptop. The community completely ignores it because of how it looks. But beneath its compromised exterior lies the exact suspension geometry and lightweight philosophy everyone claims to want. Looking past the badge snobbery reveals the smartest purchase in the modern classic market. We are dissecting the forgotten hatchback that secretly drives exactly like an E30. Understanding the current market is crucial. A clean, manual transmission BMW 325 is from the late 80s now demands $15,000 to $20,000. That prices the average enthusiast completely out of the golden era of Munich engineering. Yet, the hunger for lightweight, rear-wheel drive momentum cars has never been higher. Modern vehicles are heavy, isolated, and digital. The solution is not to pay a collector's premium for an iconic silhouette. The solution is to buy the factory parts bin special that accidentally preserved the brand's analog soul. That car is the E36, generation BMW 318 Ti Compact. To understand the 318 Ti, you must understand the corporate panic at BMW in the early 1990s. The standard E36 3 Series had grown larger, heavier, and significantly more expensive than its predecessor. Dealerships needed a cheaper, entry-level model to attract younger buyers into the showroom. Developing an entirely new chassis was financially impossible. Instead, engineers took the standard E36 front half and brutally chopped nearly 9 inches off the rear overhang. To keep production costs as low as possible, they did not use the sophisticated, heavy multi-link rear suspension from the standard E36. Instead, they reached into the warehouse and bolted up the semi-trailing arm rear suspension from the outgoing E30. When the car launched in the US for the 1995 model year, purists were outraged. They called it a compromised, cheapened dilution of the brand. The automotive press criticized the stubby, truncated styling. The 318 Ti quickly earned a reputation as the BMW for people who could not afford a real BMW. That stigma stuck, keeping the car relegated to the bottom of the depreciation curve for decades. But time has a funny way of shifting perspectives. That cost-cutting measure in the rear suspension ended up being the car's greatest asset. The standard E36 multi-link rear end provides massive grip and stability, which is excellent for high-speed cruising on the Autobahn. The older E30 semi-trailing arm setup in the 318 Ti is entirely different. It is lively, communicative, and prone to easily controllable liftoff oversteer. When you push the compact hatchback through a corner, the rear end actively participates in the rotation. It feels playful and raw in a way the standard E36 sedan simply does not. The packaging is also a masterclass in weight reduction. By removing the trunk and utilizing older, simpler suspension components, the 318 Ti weighs roughly 2,700 pounds. That makes it nearly 250 pounds lighter than a standard 6-cylinder E36 coupe. You feel that lack of mass immediately upon turning. The steering response is razor-sharp. The vehicle changes direction with an urgency that modern, 2-ton performance sedans cannot physically replicate. It proves that shedding weight will always yield better driving dynamics than adding horsepower. Under the hood, you will find the M42 or M44 inline-4 engine, depending on the production year. For the US market, the sweet spot is the 1996 to 1999 models, which utilize the updated 1.9-liter M44. This naturally aspirated motor produces a very modest 138 horsepower and 133 pound-feet of torque. On paper, those numbers are entirely uninspiring. But a momentum car is never about spec sheet bragging rights. The M44 features forged internals and a dual overhead cam architecture that begs to be wrung out to the red line. You have to work the 5-speed manual transmission constantly to keep the engine in its power band. Driving a slow car fast is universally more enjoyable than driving a fast car slow. The 318 Ti allows you to use 100% of the throttle on a public road without risking a felony speeding charge. It requires absolute driver engagement and rewards proper gear selection with pure mechanical joy. If you are hunting for one, the holy grail of the 318 Ti lineup is the factory M Sport or Club Sport package. These rare trim levels feature aggressive aerodynamic bumpers, thicker sway bars, and a significantly stiffer suspension tune. More importantly, they include the heavily bolstered factory sport seats, which dramatically improve the interior experience. Finding a Club Sport model requires patience, but it completely transforms the stubby hatchback into a legitimate canyon weapon. Even the base models, however, provide an exceptionally solid foundation for modification. Because the front half is an E36 and the rear is an E30, aftermarket support is practically infinite. Maintenance is where the 318 Ti firmly cements its value proposition. You are avoiding the complex Vanos variable valve timing issues found on the six-cylinder engines. The M44 is a remarkably stout little motor, provided you address the notorious cooling system flaws immediately. Like all BMWs from this era, the factory cooling components are made of a fragile plastic that degrades after decades of heat cycling. The water pump impeller is known to shatter without warning. The plastic thermostat housing will inevitably crack and dump coolant onto the pavement. Ignoring these known issues will result in a warped cylinder head and a catastrophic repair bill. The mandatory first step of ownership is completely overhauling the cooling system with upgraded aluminum parts. This is a $500 preventative measure that guarantees long-term reliability. Beyond the cooling system, buyers should inspect the interior carefully. The headliner material will almost certainly be sagging, and the door panels are prone to delamination. The plastic window regulator clips frequently snap, causing the glass to fall off its track. These interior trim issues are annoying, but they are remarkably cheap to fix in a home garage. They are not structural failures, nor are they complex electrical nightmares. They are simply the reality of owning a 30-year-old German economy car. The financial logic of buying a 318 Ti today is absolutely undeniable. You can currently find clean, manual transmission examples on the used market for roughly $4,000 to $7,000. That represents an absurd amount of analog driving feedback per dollar spent. Compare that entry price to the inflated cost of a beaten-up Mazda Miata from the same era. The BMW offers superior chassis rigidity, far better daily practicality with the rear hatch, and genuine German highway stability. It is the ultimate dual-purpose classic, capable of handling a grocery run just as easily as a spirited weekend drive. The enthusiast community will always gravitate toward the flagship models. They will endlessly debate the merits of the M3 while ignoring the brilliant, lightweight momentum cars hidden in plain sight. Let them keep fighting over overpriced garage queens. The E36 318 Ti offers the exact tactile steering, mechanical simplicity, and playful rear-wheel drive dynamics that define the golden era of Munich engineering. It hides that legendary E30 DNA under a deeply misunderstood exterior. That lack of visual appeal is exactly what has kept the purchase price tethered to reality. The era of cheap, analog German cars is rapidly ending. As younger enthusiasts get priced out of the traditional classics, they will inevitably discover the handling secrets of this forgotten hatchback. When the market finally recognizes the value here, the days of a $5,000 318 Ti will be over permanently. Securing a clean example is only the beginning. Understanding exactly which suspension components to swap from the E30 parts bin to unlock its full handling potential requires specific knowledge. If you want to know the exact recipe to build a giant killer on a strict budget, that is what we are covering next.